I want to get to Pelosi and stock trading, but before I do that, I have become, at least somewhat over the week, like last week, it was all about Coldplay and that couple from Astronomer. This week, I'm now captivated by another cultural phenomena, and this is the Sydney Sweeney jeans ad. I don't even know what Sydney Sweeney's politics are. She may hate the fact that she just got dragged into this. But somehow it wasn't a big deal when Beyonce did this denim ad, and now we've got Sydney Sweeney, and I'm like, oh my God, I feel like we're back during the Biden years where it's like, it was a fun play on words. She has great jeans. That was the tagline. And everyone got the joke. That's funny. It's cute. I mean, like there was some ad genius that was like, hey, we're going to do this play on words. Ha ha ha. And everyone was like, that's awesome. And suddenly it's now racist. And apparently it's like you fat shame people because the undertones of that word is that you're not thin. I'm literally blown away. Okay. So Amber Duke, is this nuts or is this like this is the left's last gasp?
I think this is the last gasp. And, what's so funny about the reaction to the Sydney Sweeney ad is that we had to live through 5 to 10 years of fat women on the cover of Shape magazine, fat women on the cover of Women's Health, and fat people selling all of the clothes that we were consuming. And you get one busty blonde girl and everybody loses their freaking minds. It's so funny to me. These people are beyond desperate. Good Morning America did a segment comparing this to Nazism, saying it was a Nazi dog whistle because they did a double entendre with the word jeans or a pun with the word jeans. I love this. And the reason we know it's the last gasp is because American Eagle stock went up 14%, according to Business Insider, and the jeans have consistently sold out. You have multiple women on X saying, I tried to buy the jeans. The order got canceled. I bought 2 pairs yesterday.
No way.
Yeah, I did. And it actually took me back to middle school because I only wore American Eagle jeans in middle school and have since moved on. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going back. I'm going back to my bread and butter. We're going to get the American Eagle jeans because who knows, like maybe I could look 1% more like Sydney Sweeney if I wore these jeans. And who doesn't want to look more like Sydney Sweeney?
Exactly. Brianna, I don't mean to gender you here or whatever the left says, but like as the other person who would probably wear American Eagle jeans, I don't even know if they sell them to men or not. But
now, wait a minute.
Sorry, yeah, Jared's trying to jump in. He's like, I was going to squeeze into those. Do you agree with Amber? Does this make you less likely? Did you even think about American Eagle before? I don't even understand. Was that a brand that people would have considered, or does this kind of put them on the map?
Well, to Amber's point, American Eagle was pretty popular back in the early 2000s, mid-2000s.
Yes.
And I will also add to Amber's point, not only did we have to deal with obese persons trying to sell his clothing, we had to deal, what was it, Dylan Mulvaney, wasn't he on the magazine cover of swimwear? Yes. Right? So
yeah,
that was okay.
And he did a Nike announcement, I think.
All right, those things are okay, but a hot chick in denim is not. And the problem with the left is they have a habit of viewing everything through the lens of race or ideology, and it's an extremely alienating worldview. And you have the same people who are wringing their hands right now saying, could American Eagle and Sydney Sweeney be Hitler? Are the same people who for the past 8 months have said, how should we win back young men 18 to 29? Here's a novel approach. Let them like a hot girl in jeans. Let them see a busty woman in jeans and not call them a Nazi for it. That's how you will slowly but surely send a signal to young men, hey, you can come to our side of the party. Because right now young men are saying, I can't even like a hot chick. Why would I go to that party?
I agree. All right. I want to do one quick thing, and I mean quick, of predictions. I started this last week, and then we got to winners and losers. Jared, I'm going to start with you. Nancy Pelosi got whacked yesterday, big kerfuffle about stock trading. I just want to bottom line this, okay? So this is yes or no. Will Congress ban members of Congress from trading stocks? Jarrett Stepman, yes or no?
I'd love to say yes. I know this is something that has bothered me. I know it bothers a lot of voters. I certainly have heard lectures from my father about this for so long. I'm going to say no, it doesn't happen. The Congress has too much of an interest in not letting this happen.
I also sadly think no.
Brianna?
I'm a no.
Oh my God. I was going into this as a yes. All right, well, let's try another one. Ghislaine Maxwell, a lot of talk from her team about seeking a pardon. Does she get a pardon? Jarrett, yes or no?
I'm going to say no.
Brianna?
God willing, no.
Amber?
No, limited immunity, maybe.
I can't. The backlash would be massive. All right, let's move on. Jerome Powell did not raise interest rates. A lot of people pissed. I think that economic report might have saved him. Jarrett, yes or no? Does he get fired before his term in May is up? Yes or no?
I think no, but he might step down. So maybe that's in between.
All right. Brianna, does he get fired? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, Amber Duke.
I'm also no. I think he's too useful of a foil for Trump.
I'm conflicted. If he doesn't cut it in September, he is fired, though. I will tell you that. If he doesn't cut rates by a quarter basis points at the September meeting, then he is fired. Otherwise, I agree with Amber on this. All right, here's another interesting one. Not fired, but more resigned. Does Dan Bongino leave before the end of the year as deputy director of the FBI? Jarrett Stepman.
I'm going to say no.
Brianna.
I'm going to lean towards yes.
That he does leave.
Yeah, I think he's too honest.
All right. Amber Duke.
This is the hardest one you've asked so far. I think I'm with Brianna on this one.
Why?
I think what happened a couple of weeks ago with him sort of disappearing and threatening to leave will probably happen again. And I think the other members of the admin will not like it if that happens again. And whether or not he's right to leave is a different question.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm torn on this one myself, so I'm not even going to give an answer. I got 3 more quick ones, and then we're going to winners and losers. So there's 144 nominees of President Trump waiting for the Senate to get passed. Okay, assuming 0 before they leave for recess. How many come out of the Senate? Give me a number between 0 and 144, Jarrett.
Oh, I will say I'll say 100.
Oh, Brianna.
Wow, I was going to say like 15 to 20.
Yeah. Amber Duke, where are you?
I'd put it in the 50 to 60 range. I think Senator Thune's going to try to do the right thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. My magic number is like 50, 55. I think that's where he tries to do this, and then they claim that that's a deal and walk away. All right, 2 more quick things. There is discussion about a tariff rebate, right? That all of these tariffs have brought in massive revenue. First month in June that we've had where we've run as a government a surplus in over a decade. There's a proposal to give Americans a rebate versus using that money to help pay down the debt. Amber, rebate or debt?
Debt.
Jarrett.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say debt on that too. I don't like the rebate idea.
I'm going to go with rebate.
Okay. I love a good rebate. I'm cheap, but I got to go debt. I'm sorry. I can't believe all right, last question. And then we get to winners and losers. MSNBC is spinning off from NBC. Does it survive more than 24 months? Amber Duke.
Yes.
Jarrett.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes.
Brianna.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going no. I think after 24 months, it doesn't have the audience to sustain itself, and it quietly folds into like a streaming service. All right, let's get to winners and losers. We got to keep this tight. Amber Duke, who is your winner? Who is your loser?
Winner's American Eagle. Loser is I guess Nancy Pelosi.
Okay, both good. Jarrett, give me a winner and give me a loser.
The winner is the American people after all these trade deals that have come down, and the loser is the economists, the experts who said that it would all be a disaster. That's the biggest loser of all, collectively.
I think that second part, which I beat to a dead horse, I agree with. These experts, we got to stop calling them experts. To Brianna's point earlier, we don't call the press anymore. We call them the propaganda, the left-wing legacy. Stop. We got to stop saying the so-called expert or the failed experts. I mean, let's start branding them because I think that's absolutely right. And we've done a good job of that at the press. Brianna, who do you have as your winner and loser?
Well, I think to Jared's point, my winner would be Donald Trump because he's proved the media wrong and he's helping the American people. I think the loser, and they're not really in office right now, would be Biden's Department of Justice because they launched a lawsuit in Galveston, Texas a few years ago that has now led to the redistricting debacle that we're seeing in Texas, in which Republicans have a pretty darn good shot of getting a lot of these coalition districts out of there.
Wait. So just can you expand on that for 1 second? So that lawsuit is what's giving us the ability to do this?
So Biden's Department of Justice went after Galveston in Texas because there was one Democratic seat that the Republicans redrew a line, whatever. And eventually went to the Fifth Circuit. And the Fifth Circuit said, wait, you can't have these like political-based coalitions. And that kind of gave a green light for questions, at least, about redistricting. And now we're at those questions.
I love it. And by the way, we're going to talk about that tomorrow with Ryan Grodesky about redistricting in Texas and like really delve into this. So you just gave me an amazing question to ask. That's why I love this panel. All right, look, I think the winner, as a riff off of what we said, I think the winner this week is U.S. exporters. They're getting access to markets that they've never had. They've been given excuses why they couldn't forever. Donald Trump changed that. And that leads into my loser. The loser is the global trading system. For years, we were told we have to accept it, suck it up. There's nothing we can do about it. And even in the case of South Korea, we have a free trade agreement with them. And they came, the EU, I think, exemplified it the most early this week when it said we had to readjust the imbalance that existed. And that's what Trump has done, is upended it. And these countries that initially called him taco or whatever came to him on bended knee and said, yes, sir, we'll take a 20% tariff. Thank you very much. And I think that shows to me the power of the difference that President Trump has exhibited on leadership. Anyway, I always love the panel. You guys, and you brought it strong. I loved it. This was great conversation, guys. Thank you for doing that. Well, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get more.